McNeil, 6 points. McNeil splitting Charlie Waters, 41, and Mel Renfro, Tarkenton drilling it on target.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much, everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or leave a comment below or possibly even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But at least anyway, thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, I noticed there was like a little article, but it was talking about how well Colt McCoy has been doing, filling in for Kyler Murray, who's been injured, missed a few games. Colt McCoy started 3 games for Arizona, and started me thinking like a little bit about like what he did like last year with the Giants. Now we won one of those games, went into Seattle, and came out with a W. 17-12. I mean, that was with that. There wasn't any fans in the stands, So I mean, to go up and come out with a W in Seattle, regardless, is phenomenal. I mean, 17-12, a hard-fought victory. Russell Wilson only managed to get basically 10 points because they blocked a punt, went through the end zone. So, I mean, Seattle's offense only was able to score 10 points. I mean, that defense was good. Leonard Williams had a great game. Wayne Train Gallman running the ball. He had like 135 yards rushing. I mean, they did phenomenal. It just made you so proud after that Monday, just after that victory. It was just like, yeah, But then also last year, Colt McCoy had he went against Seattle. The next week we went home. Daniel Jones tried to come back from his hamstring injury, and the Cardinals just ate him alive. He came back too early. He shouldn't have been there because we can't pass block, and so he shouldn't have played in that game. But then he missed the next week's game against the Browns, and Colt McCoy stepped in once again. And, that one we lost, and we only got 2 field goals. But it was just kind of like what Colt McCoy has done. He's the 3 games again with the Cardinals this year, and the 2 games he did like last year with the Giants. Basically, both his backup roles. All right. Now, with last year with the Giants, Colt McCoy was 40 out of 66, 60.6% completion. Yeah. For a backup quarterback, certainly not horrible. 60, you complete 60% of your passes. Okay, and actually 60.6 if you want to round it up to 61. Okay. Of course, with the Giants, can't score. So he only had 1 touchdown pass and only had 1 interception. So a backup quarterback, 2 full games, 1 interception, you can't complain. Against Seattle, as I said, we won that one. He was 13 out of 22. We ran the ball, I think, 31 times. We had 190 yards rushing. So we were trying to run the ball, right? Maybe take it out of Colt McCoy's hand, just give him the ball to the Wayne Gallman, the Wayne Train. But so I mean, Colt McCoy, he had 13 out of 22, is 59% completion percentage. Yeah, for 105, he played the whole 105 yards passing. He had the 1 touchdown. And he had the 1 interception. His quarterback rating was a 67.4. Grand Giants had a grand total of 290 yards of offense in that game. We just tried to keep the ball away from Russell Wilson, try to run it, try to chew up the clock, and came out of there with the W. But we got a grand total of 290 yards of offense. As I said, Colt McCoy played the whole game, had 105 yards passing. 59% completion. Then 2 weeks later against the Browns, all right, we lost 20-6. We got a grand total of 2 field goals. He was 19 out of 31 for 61% completion. So the completion percentage was a little bit better. He had 221 yards passing. He had no touchdowns, no interceptions. So in the 2 games All right, last year, 2 games for the Giants. He was 32 out of 53, 60% completion, 326 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. His quarterback rating, was 75. He averaged 163 yards per game, 163 in those 2 games combined. Then we go this year. All right, forward this year with the Cardinals. In the backup, it was 3 games. Colin Murray was hurt, so he came in, started 3 games. They won 2 out of the 3. They played Seattle. All right, now this time, and they won. And they won 23-13. But when they in Seattle, but there were fans in the stands, and it's a very tough place to play with, especially with fans in the stands. Against Seattle, he was 35 out of 44, 80% completion percentage. Last year, when the Giants went there, no fans in the stands, he completed 59% of his passes. This year, with fans screaming the 12th man, he completed 80% of his passes. 328 yards. So basically, this year with the Cardinals, he had over 3 times the amount of passing yards. Over 3 times. This year with the Cardinals than he did last year with the Giants. Last year he had 105 with the Giants, with no fans in the stands. This year with fans, 328 yards passing. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. His quarterback rating was 112.9 in that football game. That's unbelievable. They said they won 23-13, and he was out his best. I mean, to me, I'll tell you what. You give me a healthy DeAndre Hopkins, I'll take him darn near almost over anybody. Tyreek Hill maybe is faster and this, that, and the other thing. But I'll tell you what, boy. Spider-Man hands, DeAndre Hopkins. You just throw the ball anywhere in his zip code. He just stick a hand out there and just catch the ball. The dude is freaking absolutely amazing. I love that guy. He is unbelievable. Wow. But he had AJ Green in there. Ertz was in there, but his best wide receiver. It's like back in the day. If Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't in there, that hurt the passing game because then they can clamp down on the other receivers. When Odell Beckham Jr. was in there with the Giants, back when he was good and all that with Eli, he drew attention away from the other guys because he was so good. That opened up the other guys. But when he was hurt and he wasn't in there, the other team could clamp down on our other receivers, make it a little bit more difficult. Well, as I said, he had his best receiver wasn't in there, and he completed 80% of his passes against Seattle. And they won. 328 yards passing. Quarterback rate, 112.9. Then they had the one game that was kind of a stinker. It just goes to show you on any given Sunday. Carolina started off 3-0, and then since then they've pretty much been plummeted. Even the Giants beat them. Right? So Carolina's been really tanking. Not tanking, but really playing not too well the past. After the first 3 weeks of the season, they're not playing too well. But against Carolina, Colt McCoy was 11 out of 20 for 55%. So, nothing good at all. Only 107 yards. He had 0 touchdown passes. He had the 1 interception. His quarterback rating was 49.4. So, not a very good game at all. They lost 34-10 at home. And once again, his best receiver was DeAndre Hopkins, was not in there. Didn't have him. Then he played the 49ers. The 49ers, he was 22 out of 26, 85% completion percentage. 249 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. His quarterback rating was 119.4. 119.4. Last year, with the Giants, he had one game, his best game was an 82.9. He was 119.4, 85% completion percentage. They beat San Fran 31-17. He had no AJ Green. He had no DeAndre Hopkins. His best 2 wide receivers weren't even in the game. and he completed 85% of his passes. With the Giants, he's completing 59% of his passes, 61% of his passes. He goes to the Cardinals, and he's completing 85% of his passes. 85, and last year against Seattle, he completed 59. So that's 26 completion points better, percentage points better. 26. They had 437 yards of offense that game against the 49ers. 437 yards of offense. Last year against Seattle, we had 290 yards of offense. 2021 with Arizona, Colt McCoy is averaging 228 yards per game passing the ball. Last year with the Giants, he averaged 163 yards. He had 65 more yards a game passing the ball, averaging. He was 68 out of 90 in his 3 starts. 75.6% completion percentage. 75.6%. Last year with the Giants, he was at 60. He had 684 yards passing. In the 3 games, I said it was 228 yards average. He had 3 touchdown passes this year. He only has 1 interception. 103.2 quarterback rating. Last year with the Giants, 75. So he's 28 points higher with the Cardinals than he was last year with the Giants. Last year the Giants were just basically missing in the games he played, but we didn't have Saquon. But Shepard was in there, Golden Tate was in there, Slayton was there, Evan Ingram was there. Wayne Train Gallman was there, So we had our wide receivers, we just didn't have our running back. That's what we were missing. They were missing, his best wide receiver wasn't in there. And the one game he completed 85% of his passes, his 2 best wide receivers weren't in there. Now, how can he be so good with the Cardinals this year? And last year with the Giants, he was, rather mediocre. I'll give you another example. Last year, we'll go to Mike Lennon. Last year, in 2020, Mike Lennon was with Jacksonville. He had 5 starts. they lost all. They were 1-15. They won the first game of the year, then they lost the next 15. He was 0-5. Right. He was 111 out of 179. He had 62% completion percentage. He had 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. His quarterback rating was 80.1. He averaged 214 yards per game passing the ball. This year with the Giants, in 1.5 games, because he came after Daniel Jones got his bell rung. Basically, he played the second half of the Cowboy game, and then he played all the game all last week. All right. He's 39 out of 69. He's 56.5% completion percentage. So if you want to round that up to 57, go right ahead. Last year with Jacksonville, 62%. This year with the Giants, 57%. Last year with Jacksonville, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. This year with the Giants, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. His quarterback rating with the Giants is 59. His quarterback rating last year with the 1-15 Jacksonville Jaguars, 80.1. The Giants scored a grand total of 19 points while he was in the game. 9 points last week against the Dolphins, 10 points in the second half against the Cowboys. So basically, averaging 12.5 points per game. Basically, while he's with the Giants, 12.5 points per game. Last year with Jacksonville, one game they scored 10 points. Then they scored 14. They scored 17. They scored 24, and they scored 25. So in the 5 games he was in last year with the Jaguars, they averaged 18 points a game. With the 1-15 Jacksonville Jaguars, he averaged 18 points a game. With the 4-8 now, New York Giants is averaging 12.5 points a game. How come his quarterback rating was an 80.1 last year with a team that was 1-15? Now a team that's 4-8, his quarterback rating is 59. Last year, 62% completion. This year, 56.5. Last year, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. This year, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Well, maybe he had better targets. Maybe the team, maybe they just, they just had bad luck. Maybe the guys he was throwing the ball to just such superior talent over what he has this year. That must be it. Nope, wrong. Let me rattle off some of the guys. You let me know which one of these guys really scares the crap out of you, okay? Laviska Shenault. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Okay. Junior. He's a second rounder. Chris Thompson. These are some of the guys he threw the ball to last year. He's a 5th rounder. Keelan Cole, an undrafted free agent. Devin Azigbo, an undrafted free agent. Terry Godwin, a 7th rounder. Craig Reynolds, an undrafted free agent. DJ Chark, 2nd round. Chris Conley, 3rd rounder. His only 1st rounder. Tyler Eifert, the tight end, is the 1st round. Only 1st rounder that he has that he's passing the ball to, all right? James O'Shaughnessy, a 5th rounder. Colin Johnson, who we happen to have this year, is a 5th rounder. Eric Soibert is a 5th rounder. And I hope I'm pronouncing some of these guys I've never heard of before in my life, so I hope I'm pronouncing their names right. Ben Ellefson, he's an undrafted free agent. Bruce Miller, 7th round pick. Westbrook, 4th round pick. Tyler Davis, a tight end, 6th round pick. Out of all of that, they got 1 1st rounder. Those are the guys he's throwing the ball to. Unlike this year, right? Saquon Barkley, 1st rounder. Evan Ingram, 1st rounder. John Ross, 1st rounder. Kadarius Toney, 1st rounder. Then he has, there's no stir, the 2 games he was, surprise, surprise, there's no Sterling Shepard, who is a 2nd rounder. Kyle Rudolph, 2nd rounder. Kenny Galladay, 3rd rounder. And Colin Johnson, 5th rounder. Devontae Booker is a 4th rounder. But, Saquon Barkley, 1st rounder. Evan Ingram, 1st rounder. John Ross, 1st rounder. Kadarius Toney, 1st rounder. Kyle Rudolph, 2nd rounder. If Sterling Shepard was in there, 2nd rounder. We got 1st, 2nd rounder, up and down the whole board. These are the guys that we got that he can throw the ball to. Last year, he had you hear the list of guys I just rattled off from the Jaguars? Who there scares you? And his stats were far superior last year than they are with the Giants. Colt McCoy, their best wide receiver, all 3 games. He didn't throw to him, and his stats are far superior than the Giants. It's simply amazing. And now once again, as I pointed out my video I had the other day, when the Patriots running the ball, they only threw the ball 3 times. I rattled off the offensive line that they have. They have like 1 1st rounder on their offensive line. Giants got 3 1st rounders on their offensive line and a 2nd rounder. We can't run the ball. We can't pass block to save our lives. Is it lack of talent, or is it lack of coaching? I think it's lack of coaching. Joe Judge, he talks a good talk. Doesn't talk bad about his guys. Always wants to sound positive. I always see a lot of good things, but tell you what, I'm getting a little sick and tired of that. You got to shut up or put up. And so far, Joe Judge, in 1.5 years of coaching, has not put up, not at all. And it's, as I said, with my video I had the other night, I think it's time to say bye-bye to Joe Judge. Clear house and get a whole new crew in there. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go, oh, Giants! Woo!